is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio. PHLV Radio.
Good evening and welcome everybody to Let's Talk Business. I am your host, Sonny Vinuya of the Las Vegas Asian Chamber of Commerce, and thank you for tuning in. I know you have many options, so I truly appreciate it. Last week, we spoke about demographics of Asians in Nevada. We started looking into the roadmap, and our guest was Jenny Kim, speaking to us about being able to offer 401k to you and your employees, as well as saving. As usual, we will start with a little trivia for this week. We do have a guest, and I will introduce you to him in a little bit. And then we'll talk about advantages and disadvantages of owning a business. So let's start with a little trivia here. So last week I mentioned that there are about 22,000 Asian-owned businesses here in Nevada. Now, most of them are traditional businesses such as doctors' offices, law offices, CPA, and engineers. We do have, however, kind of like a niche businesses. And it's funny because it really depends on what country you're from that have the niche for a certain industry. So here's kind of the trivia. I know you cannot answer and call in, so just answer along. Koreans, are they mostly known for laundromats or restaurants? If you answered restaurants, that is true. There was a time when most of the laundromats here in town were owned by Koreans, but now it seems like the choice of business that they have are restaurants. So there's so many restaurants out there that are owned by Koreans, and you probably don't know this. Even Japanese sushi restaurants are owned by Koreans. And I'll give you a hint. If you turn the menu over, and if they serve Kalbi ribs in their appetizers, more than likely that's Korean owned. Chinese, I'll just tell you, they love properties. So besides traditional businesses, Chinese love to own properties. They're landlords, developers, different things. Vietnamese, I think we can all pretty much know this, nail shops. And it's so amazing how these nail shops are so profitable. I've seen some financials of some nail shops, even one location, and it's amazing how much they make. And then we're going to end this with Filipinos, medical groups, or medical businesses, I should say. So from group homes, adult daycare, to nursing agencies, to add to doctors' offices, Filipinos love the medical field. Now, of course, there's always exceptions. There's different ones. Of course, we've got restaurants too in Filipinos. But if I stack it all up, and unfortunately there's not a reporting out there that tells you the different businesses under the Filipino community, but I would bet you it's really medical that's the forefront. It's just amazing when you think about it that way. And there's a lot of different opportunities in these fields. So now I would like to bring in my guest for today. He is a longtime partner with the Asian Chamber of Commerce, in fact, since 2013. And he is my main connection when it comes to being certified and getting contracts from the government. So without further ado, I want him to tell him about himself. I'd like to introduce David Eclips from the Reid International Airport. David, how are you?
Good, Sonny. Thank you for the invitation. I'm great to be here and help out. Okay, so folks, again, my name is David Eclips. I'm with the Reid International Airport here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I am the ACDBE liaison officer for the airport. And what that is a certification for minority-owned, women-owned companies that are seeking this certification under the Department of Transportation.
Awesome. Now, before I forget, because I know this is a great topic, how can they get a hold of you?
Okay, there's two ways. Number one is my email. It's David E, DAVIDE at McCarran right now, MCCARRAN.com. And they can also get a hold of me via phone, 702-261-5226.
Awesome. So, David, you mentioned about being certified. So tell us, what does it exactly entail to be certified, and what are the advantages of being a certified business?
Okay, for the DBE certification, there's a strict regulation under 49 CFR Part 26. The DBE certification is geared towards women-owned and minority-owned small businesses. Number 2 is that they have to be socially disadvantaged. Number 3 is the personal net worth cannot exceed 1.32 million. And number 4 is that the majority owner has to have control of the company. Okay, those are very strict guidelines under the regulation.
Now, what consists of minority? Is it women-owned or minority-owned 51%?
It's either minority-owned or women-owned business. Now, the legislature has built in certain socially disadvantaged personnel. And so that's identified under the CFR 49 CFR Part 26. It breaks down who qualifies and who does not.
How hard or easy is the process to get certified?
Believe it or not, the application looks intimidating. However, it is very simple. But you as a business owner should have all the background and all the data associated with the application. For example, resumes. You got to have your resume. You got to have personal taxes. You have to have business taxes. You got to have your state business license. Those are some of the required documentation. You also have to have an operating agreement or corporate bylaws. Those are critical. And so the way how we do it is I meet the applicant and I make sure that they have their ducks in a row. And I, believe it or not, Sonny, I fill out the application while they're answering the questions. But I make sure before I leave, I give them that application so they can copy what we talked about and also circle what is required with the documents.
Very good. Now, as far as ownership, we mentioned 51% ownership, but I'm going to assume that they really need to be running their business, right? They need to at least have a knowledge.
They better. They better know how. They have to demonstrate to us that they have knowledge and know how to run their business. You can't just say, David, I opened a cleaning store or a janitorial service. Okay, what do you have? Well, I don't have any equipment yet. So you need to, as an owner, be prepared to answer these questions and be prepared to jump when the opportunity makes it visible to you.
Very good. So as far as being certified, what are the advantages of being a certified business compared to somebody else who's not?
Okay, first off, I tell folks, and I'm glad you said that, Sonny, don't be that company that does not, because some of the contracts that are given on the federal level or sometimes for the hotels, they look for the certification. Okay, don't be behind the 8 ball because it takes some time to get certified. You don't just get it overnight. Or you don't get it within a week. It's a process, and the process by federal regs state 90 days. Okay. But how does the certification help? It helps for if we are doing, for example, runway or taxiway rehabilitation projects that are federally funded by the FAA. Also, NDOT is our sister that also does a certification for the DBE. So any federal highways, roadways, bridges, construction, and stuff that are federally funded through them, also it benefits the companies. So looking at companies like construction cleanup, trucking, construction in general, okay, those are the companies that will benefit a lot with this certification.
Good. All right, before we pivot and talk about getting contracts, let's take a quick break and then we'll delve into that when we get back.
Okay.
Just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.
PHLV Radio.
Welcome back. All right. David, thank you again. Those are good insights for being certified. Now, let's talk about getting contracts. Because ultimately, this is some goals of businesses, right? Is to be able to get government contracts, or in this case, contracts with Harry Reid Airport. So tell us the whole process. Does the certification help, of course, of getting there? And are there any classes or things that they have to be prepared for to get this?
Okay, number one is you always want to stay informed. Okay, so there's a couple ways, especially if you want to identify that you're a contractor and you want to work at the airport. Number one is to go to our website and fill out the application or the web page where you can put in your company name and so on, so you can get notified when an RFP comes out, or if, for example, an RFP, folks, is a request for proposal, or if you want to work on a construction project, you look at the construction upcoming bid opportunities on our website. Everything is on our website. Okay, another tool that you can use is NGEM, the Nevada Government E-Marketplace. Okay, this is where you put in your company information to include your NICS codes. Okay, and then if an opportunity comes from the municipalities within the state, we all deposit upcoming bid opportunities there. Okay, you will get an identification or notification from the NICS codes that you input into NGEM that is associated with your work, like janitorial. NICS code is a 6-digit code that identifies what your company does.
Good, thank you. And as far as classes, are there available classes if they, just to get familiar with the process if they don't know, or more so, for a lot of businesses, they want to get contracts for the government, but sometimes they don't really know if they can handle that contract or not. Are there classes that's available that explains to them exactly what's needed or what they need to have to be able to handle a government contract?
So on our website, we have a pre-bid conference, a notification when there's an upcoming airport job, or like, for example, airport runway rehabilitation. Okay, we send out a flyer for upcoming bid opportunity and for work. And then in turn, we require a pre-bid conference. Okay, in that pre-bid conference, you get to know the details of what the project is, how long the duration is, and you'll see who the other players are in the building with you. Okay, so say, for example, if you're doing construction cleanup, you can offer your services to these other companies that are bidding on that project. Okay, which is it's like networking, because you have to make sure that you get your name across. Now, here's the thing. If you don't have your business card, if you don't have a capability statement ready on those days, then you're behind the power curve already. So I highly recommend business owners have a business card and capability statements with them.
Wow, those are great insights. And I've been a guest in some of those classes. And normally, of course, I cover the financing part of it. But yeah, it's amazing how some people really want this, and then when they get there, they're not prepared. So get certified, get those classes, be prepared. David, is there anything else that you would like to add?
Again, Sonny, I appreciate you inviting me here to help get the word out for the certification. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm very forthright and very helping when it comes to obtaining your certification. Yes, the application looks intimidating, but I make it simple so you don't get that feeling of intimidation or there's a wall that's built up for you. I am here. Again, name is David Eclips. Email is davidavide@mccarran.com. And my number is 702-261-5226.
David, thank you so much. Just as a testimony, David has always been very helpful to the chamber folks, always being very proactive in getting people certified, and it's always a phone call away. Plus, if you want to get some of those information about available job or contracts, I should say, with Harry Reid Airport, you can sign up with the chamber too. David sends it to us almost every day, and we blast that out for people to know. So, David, thank you again.
Oh, my pleasure.
All right, we'll be right back, and then we'll talk about some of the advantages and disadvantages of having your own business.
Just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.
PHLV Radio.
All right, welcome back for our last segment. So for this one, we're going to talk about advantages and disadvantages of owning your own business. You know, as a Filipino growing up in the Philippines, and through the most out of my friends' experiences, we were told most by our parents to, hey, go to school, get a great job, be a doctor, which is in a sense a small business, and or be a lawyer. But over the years, I've been so pleased that more and more Filipinos have really been entrenched in owning their own businesses. And it's a great thing. I love it. Of course, being a chamber president, I love it when I see new businesses come out. So what are the advantages of owning your own business? The first one is you control your own destiny. You know, pretty much all the hard work that you do, especially if you're a type A personality, all your vision, your hard work, your dedication, all goes to you and not somebody else. And that's a huge thing when you think about it. How many people do you know that work so hard, but yet somebody else profits from it? Here, you control your own destiny. Second, you can find your own work-life balance. And I'm going to be honest with you, when you first start your own business, there's no balance. You will be 100% into your business day 24/7. That's all you're going to be doing. However, once you've achieved that point where your business is running like a well-oiled machine, you have your own people in the right places, it's up to you now, you know, what you want to do. You want to take extended vacations. You want to give back to the community. You want to do other things while your business is running. This is the time you can really set your own priorities, pretty much. Number 3, you choose the people that you work with. It's up to you. You're the one. You pick who you want. You can even pick your clients for that when you get to that point. I know a construction company who's more in the matured side of the business, and he just picks now whoever he wants to work with. Unlike before, when he first started, he would take on any newcomers. But now, if he's got a client who's very hard to please, he'll say, you know what, maybe it's better if you find somebody else. And now that takes a while to get there, but the point is you choose the people that you work with. Number 4, you take on the risk. So, of course, when you take all the risk, you also take on all the rewards. Now, of course, there's a drawback to that, and we'll get to that when it comes to the disadvantages. But you take the risk, you get all the reward that comes with that risks as well. Number 5, you challenge yourself. You know, have you ever met a subcontractor or somebody in sales that's all commission? And if they don't sell, they don't eat. Those are tough businesses. And that's when you really challenge yourself. Can I do this? I have a friend of mine who had a great job and was let go from his job. But instead of feeling sorry for himself, he said, well, I'm going to make it on my own. And now he owns 6 businesses, all doing very well. So again, it's about challenging yourself. Number 6, you follow your passion. What is your passion? What do you like to do? If it's a service, for example, you're a CPA, you want to teach people how to open businesses, there you go. It's not really work. You're doing what you love. You're doing your passion, right? And that's very important in succeeding in business. 7, you get things done faster. If you're your own business, you make the decision, this is what I want to do, you can pivot quickly, you can get your whole team to come with you, and you can get things done faster. Number 8, you have better connections with your clients, your own business. Well, depending what type of business owner you are. But normally, if you're on your own business, you definitely have good connections with your clients. Number 9, you can give back to the community. Like I said, when you get to that point where your business is running like a well-oiled machine, it's up to you how you want to spend your time, and you can definitely give back to your community. And lastly, number 10, your pride, sense of pride of doing what you want to do, creating something that's doing very well. Now, easier said than done, of course. There's always challenges when you're creating a business. The first one, for example, is building a framework. Okay, you've got a great idea. How do I make it work? I want to sell widgets to this certain niche. Okay, how do I do that? How do I market the company? So coming up with that. This is probably the biggest one, capital. Having the financial means or the capital to be able to start your business, hire people, buy supplies, depending on what it is. And we're going to go, as we talk more into this talk show, we'll go through getting different ways of getting capital. Being concise, being lean and mean. How do you, when you're a business owner, and you start thinking of a lot of different ideas how to make money. And sometimes you go into different tangents, you lose your sight on actually what you were trying to do. And there's a lot of different opportunities out there. Well, I always tell people, concentrate on that first one first. Then let's start looking at the others. Here's a big one. Overcoming your fear of starting your own business. And it's tough. Especially when you have a family that you're trying to raise, it's hard to gamble on starting your own business. Sometimes it seems like the people that I know that have become very successful is they were pinned in a corner and they had to succeed or else. But if your things are good, there's always that fear of, am I going to make it or not? Number 5, being ready to pivot. And what do I mean by that? Sometimes life throws you a curveball. And being able to pivot and finding a different way to make money is a huge thing. I'm going to give you an example. When the pandemic hit, there were a lot of tour companies that's part of the chamber that had zero business coming in. They had to pivot if they wanted to continue to keep their business, earn money. A bunch of them I knew went into all of a sudden selling PPE equipment or thermal equipment for bigger companies. And they've done a great job, which is, amazing when you think about it. So being able to pivot, setting the right first target. That's what I talk about. When you got to have a goal, you need to be focused on it. And let's get things done before moving to a different thing. Be realistic. That's number 8. Oftentimes in banking, I meet somebody who has an idea for business, and when they give their business resume, we call it pie in the sky. Everything is the best case scenario. Well, unfortunately, that's not how life is. So you have to be very realistic when you're approaching a business and you're building one. Am I really going to get 100 clients right away? No, of course not, especially when you're just starting out. Let's say you're a dentist. You start your own new practice and you just left a practice. Well, you won't be able to take all of your clients with you right away. Not all of them will move to you. So you have to be realistic. Getting people to care, both clients and workers. Clients, as far as clients are concerned, they need to care why they go to you for that particular business. If it's a service business, why you? If people that work for you, why should I work hard for you besides the money that you're paying me? Because guess what? You have a lot of competitors out there. Number 9, finding the right mentor to help you. And not just the mentor, but a lot of different resources. My guest, David, is a valuable resource, for example. He can be a good mentor for you. Or maybe an SBA lending was another good resource for you. Number 10, accepting that you don't know everything. Being able to say that, okay, I don't know the answer to that, and going out and finding the right answer for it. Number 11, determining customer demand. You need to have a good pulse. Okay, you come up with a great business, but is there really a demand for it? Or is it just a fad? Or, is it just affordable by the rich? Okay, and then you're limiting the clientele that you have, right? Re-educating the marketplace about you. That's where your marketing comes in. And then lastly, embracing integrative thinking. When you're a business owner, you need to be able to adapt You need to be able to change. You need to be able to see what's coming, what's new, and place that into your business model. We're seeing a lot of different big businesses go out of the field now, go out of industry. You're seeing big stores go out. My best example for this was Borders. I love Borders. I'm not sure, for people that don't know, Borders is an old bookstore, and but they never evolved. Unlike Barnes & Noble, that at least it's still in business up to now, that evolved somehow. When Amazon Kindle first came out, I saw that as being a problem for Borders, the delivery of what they're selling, for example. So things like that, you need to be able to adjust yourself. All right, that's all, folks, for tonight. So I hope those things helped out. David, again, thank you so much. He was a great guest. And if you need any help in certification, you could definitely give him a call. Or if you call me at the chamber, 702-737-4300, we can definitely get you in touch with them. So until next Monday, have a great evening, everybody. Thank you.